Hey guys, J77 here doing a special vlog, something I haven't done in a while anyway, but I wanted to talk about a particular movie that is pretty much already on full speed ahead of being made. That is The Hunger Games Mockingjay. And it was wrong by an article done by Leo's son, and he pretty much asked the question: the Hunger Games Mockingjay are being done as two movies. This was told years in advance, but he also raised the question of this film probably being one too many. This has been a trend that was going on in Hollywood for some time now. It started with Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows, was broken up into two parts, and that was largely because of how extent the book is, and they didn't want to chop the book up into different pieces just to fit one film. Instead, it just broke it up into two parts, and for the most part, it has been successful. There's another franchise has been following that same suit, but not because they want to stay faithful to the storyline, but more likely just to give a cash grab. Twilight comes to mind of that. You also see the same thing as The Habit, and although Habit has been getting pretty okay reviews, if depending on who you speak to, they are still stretching the story very, very thin. Now, Mockingjay is no exception to that rule. Mockingjay, although it is the last book, it is not a very long book. It's not like it's 900 pages. This book can be easily translated into one movie, but they want to just break it up into two parts. And to me, this trend, I'm like this, and this is my opinion. I like to hear your opinion on this. If you're going to break something up into two parts, it has to be a justifiable reason for it, and I just don't see the reason for it to break up into two parts unless you felt that the story is so great, so intense, that it deserved to be broken up into two parts. And to me, from the most of the people who are diehard fans of the Hunger Games series, they even saying that this may be a bit too much. This is something that's a very interesting, because Hollywood has tended to do this a lot nowadays. They've been doing it a lot more than what they need to be, and we haven't really seen much improvement of the movies that they are doing this with. In fact, the article actually even said that some may argue that Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallow, weighing in at 759 pages, U.S. it works better as a full film, which it does. Breaking Dawn, which is also 259 pages long, also arguably needed to be split into two books by some entertainment, some principally Lionsgate. But let's not be naive. The obvious advantage of splitting the final book into two is profit by prolonging the aging probable franchise over a span of 2 years. Together, the two final Harry Potter films grossed 2.3 billion, while the two final Twilight films grossed 1.5 billion. So even though Twilight was broken up into two films, it didn't do better than Harry Potter. Mockingjay, this is something I want you to keep in mind. Now, keep in mind what they said, and this is actually true. Deathly Hallows, 759 pages. Twilight Breaking Dawn, 759 pages. Mockingjay is only 390. So there's really no justification of actually breaking this story up into two parts. There really isn't. The same thing I was saying with the Habit, and you can see the new stuff they put into the Habit trilogy to make the film a lot longer than what it needs to be. Habit is a children's book, by the way, and it is not as long as it is. It's about pretty much the same length, 400 pages, but it's really not as long as, say, the Harry Potter books, or even the Twilight books for that matter. You can easily break it up into one. If you want to make it to two, fine, but they did three, which really raised the question. Mockingjay is 390. It is much shorter than the two books combined. The fact that this is moving into that extreme example of their overstretching themselves to keep the franchise really raised the question: are they doing that franchise a disservice? Keep in mind, many people loved the second film more so than the first film. They did a lot of things that was right about the second film. So the question is, would they ruin it by just breaking it up into two parts like this? I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to decide on this. I'm gonna leave a link below to the article that you guys read it. But I'd really like to hear your guys' opinion. This is a what do you think question. You guys can come up with anything you want. But I'd really like to hear your opinion on that, especially for those who are actually Hunger Game fans. Do you think this is actually a wise move for them to do? So there you have it. I'll leave the link below. Let me know. Entertainment Roundup will be posted on Tuesday. As you guys know, I had to delay it due to a tragedy within the World Wide Web. That will be back on Tuesday and pretty much back on its regular schedule as planned, being if there's nothing new in the entertainment world to talk about. But until then, J77 saying take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon.